welcome back and to our episode tonight, and of course the Global Suez Canal Navigation Conference, an important conference taking place in Egypt from the 24th to the from the 22nd to the 24th, and of course today it was inaugurated, as I said at the very beginning, by the Prime Minister and of course head of the Suez Canal Authority, Mohammed. The conference is held under the auspices of President Fattah al-Sisi. This is a very significant conference at this particular time. Let me welcome our guests. Dr. Salah Nosseir, Professor of Research and Development. Thank you very much for being with us. And Dr. Hamdy Barghout, Maritime Transport Expert. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
If we start from speaking about the significance of the conference held at this particular time. Please, Dr. Salah.
Well, it's very important that we can introduce what we have so that we can get into the competition arena while we're ready to offer and say what we have to offer. It's very important at this particular moment in time to let all concerned know what we have to offer. See?
Yes, very much indeed. The slogan of the conference, opportunities and challenges. Mm-hmm. And indeed, it is a project or a mega project that is for many opportunities or that opens a horizon of opportunities, but there are many also challenges. How do you view that?
Well, when we talk about Suez Canal, we're talking about an international passage, whereas the international trade, almost 28% out of the international trade are passing through the canal. It's very unique, very strategic for not only Egypt, but also for the whole world, whereas we know lately that China and the Far East are flourishing and growing bigger and bigger, and they have a very big, international relationship or trade relationship with Eastern Europe. And of course, the other world. But with Eastern Europe and West Europe especially, we have at least 90% out of this trade passing through Suez Canal. It means that we have 35 to 37 million TEU per year, and we have all 100% of the natural gas coming from Qatar up to European community, and not only that, but also other community, whereas it needs other kind of vessels. It's not only that, but also this conference came a little bit late, because we should have to do this from the beginning of inaugurating the canal in 1975 in order to know or to have the feedback from the other who is the shareholder or a stakeholder who's dealing with Suez Canal Authority. But thanks God it's happening already, and now we have the first global Suez Canal conference. And it will be annual actually.
Yes, actually this is a good question. Is the Suez Canal project has been put before many presidents, before President Fattah al-Sisi take the decision to implement it on the spot. Why was that project hindered throughout all these years?
Well, it's a very good question. As far as I'm concerned, I remember I had the honor to have led the team, the managing team, to get to the project that is almost unknown today. Everybody speaks of the 1975 and nobody speaks of the 1977 to 1980, where we had developed the canal cross-section from 1,800 square meter cross-section to double it to 3,600 throughout the entire length of the canal, which is 165 kilometers. And that was a mammoth project at the time.
Yes,
and I had that project, the management team, to have produced the document that was necessary for the World Bank to approve and I remember the moments where we had that, and after that nobody mentions this as though it is not there. And to me, we are really not doing justice until this moment. I have to be frank about it. Is the fact that we are looking as though we are sitting stand still, having our heads like this to see everybody just passes. To me, we have to differentiate between the Suez Canal as a passage and the Suez Canal as the throat of the entire world as far as trade, international trade is concerned. We have got to have this as the best means to control and lead Africa for all of its inputs and outputs.
Yes, definitely.
This is what's
and this is
important.
exactly the main objective of the project right now that is...
Okay, but we have to complement this with the fact that we have to have railroads, network of railroads, network
and
of...
this is another phase of the project, sir. This
But
is another phase
is it
of
to come later or to come
There are
concurrently?
3 phases.
Okay.
Have you been... Have you been reading about the phases of the Suez Canal project or this one? There are 3 phases. The second one would be initiating the highways and the...
3 tunnels in the north and another 3 tunnels in the
Exactly.
east.
Yes, please.
Talking about developing the Suez Canal, the most interesting thing in this is that we have a single window system. The only single window system in Egypt is in Suez Canal Authority.
That's another issue.
This is very important.
One stop.
Exactly, one-stop shop is the Suez Canal Authority at first.
Yes.
And not only that, but also nowadays we are talking about the Suez Canal Economic Zone. And they already arranged for the second day of the conference a complete presentation about this, the opportunities and the challenges as well. Because, you know, as Dr. Salah just said, it's only a transit passage for the international trade. We need to have some sort of value add for this trade, for these vessels, whereas we have more than thousands of vessels used to pass in a yearly basis. 28% out of the total international trade are passing through the Suez Canal, and still we only have $5 billion, $5.5 billion, whereas as per the prediction and the future plan, we are aiming for $50 billion.
But here I want to differentiate between Suez Canal as a navigation route and Suez Canal as a complete zone that couldn't be used for trade and industry. All the area around the Suez Canal. And this is why it is opportunities and challenges. And here I come back to you, sir, and yes, we had to make use of this area, and that should have been made since long ago. So this is exactly why I was asking you, why throughout all these years this project has not been really implemented on the ground?
Well, this is what I tried to answer when I mentioned the fact that the opportunity is lost. As far as we're concerned, it is my life. I lost my life because when at the time I was leading the
business development,
the team to program for the 3 years development, I was at that time in my 30s, and I was hoping to see us lead all of Africa to come and have all of its inputs and all of its outputs passing through Egypt to be within the Suez Canal, looking at the Suez Canal as so many ports, you know. And today I almost you know, cry if I can cry to see us competing with Jabal Ali. You see, why can we just get out of this idea of competing with someone and think of something that we go out of competition, because our position, our geographical position, our nature and weather and should not make us in position to be comparing ourselves with others, because that will put us into a competition with others. We are not to be competing with others. Now, if you think of the fact that we are to lead Africa, then many things would change in the political arena, in the economic.
Not just taking the leadership, but rather to
having the opportunity
to start an important project that could serve all the Africans.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I don't mean leadership by effect of leadership, but I'm talking about leading a march whereabout it's a win-win situation for everybody.
Yes, indeed.
This is what I mean, exactly.
So,
if I may comment in this,
just please. Up till this minute, you didn't tell me what hindered that.
I'm trying to put my leg down.
Well, I need to add something to what Dr. Salah just said. When you compare what's going on in Egypt nowadays and in the Suez Canal area specifically, comparing with Jebel Ali is only 46 square kilometer. We're talking about 468 square kilometer. We're talking about 4 economic zone, not only the passage, the transiting the canal, but 4 economic zone. The east Kantara, the north, the southeast Port Said, the north Sukhna and Ismailia. And actually, I attended the conference today, and I was having my own lecture in the first workshop, whereas we have been talking about developing our own Egyptian flag fleet in order to help the African countries to have their own trade through the Suez Canal area, which is the nearest port. Actually, we have had one of the lecture this day with a Korean guy who was talking about the opportunity for the Suez Canal area vis-a-vis with the development of the Far East and the European country. They are going to have 3 times up till 2030 the intertrade between both of them, and we should have to have an opportunity to gain benefit out of it. And that's why, as Dr. Salah just said, he was involved somehow, sometimes in this, but never too late, because nowadays it's already time, because during the 2008 we learned something from the financial crisis. Whoever involved in will grow bigger and bigger. Oil is going to get higher once again. It's only a phenomenon. It's some sort of crest and trough, but still, Egypt will have its own role in the international
trade. And that's another point that you raised here, sir, the prices of oil. And the prices of oil means the passage of the cargoes in the Suez Canal and as a navigation route. How do you think the prices of oil and the decline of the prices of oil reflected on the Suez Canal as a passage or a route?
Well, this is a rather complicated question, in the fact that the problem itself is a bit complicated. In fact, technologically, the way I see it, that the petroleum has to go down and keep to be down, to remain to be down, because technology today has been advancing at an unprecedented rate because of the fact that ecological problem can have the 2 poles start to the snow would turn into, because
it would heat the situation between the 2 poles?
The heat.
We are in line something very interesting for you to know. We still have 50 to 70 years to go with the oil. And that's why nowadays there is a new theory of what's called slow steaming, whereas they are increasing the time for the voyage and decreasing the volume of fuel consumption during the trip itself. Nowadays, the freight rate where it was before, from Hong Kong to Rotterdam, 2,500 per TEU, now this is 250. Very big drop. And that's why everybody is seeking for raising the price of the oil once again. It's coming, no way.
Well, let me disagree with you.
It's good to have
when you call it a
it's
debate.
a theory, it's economical theory.
The way I see it, and not just see it, because I'm involved in one way or another in the technology to transfer technology to the area where about your fossil oil will shrink, and you had to consider the fact that endangering the global, survival, this.
Yes, we have one day to deal with the issue of
alternatives.
The renewable resources. Otherwise,
They already did.
Yes, but that is not our.
This is not our today.
I was just asking you about how the prices of oil and its decline reflected on the Suez Canal.
To me, I look at it some other way, because the prices of oil may be an issue that cannot be solved within one. And only solved, it's not solved. I mean, to track it, and to follow it, and to see where it's going. It's not an easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. But let's concentrate on the other fact that other question you mentioned. To me, the business to business, information technology efforts to deal at not the business to client is estimated to be in the year 2020, which is about around the corner, 4 years, to reach about $6.7 trillion, mind you. Now, what does it mean to have business to business? Means that to turn the commitment into transports.
Yes.
Then they have to start trading. Trading means transportation.
Exactly.
Transportation means that we are going to have a share within the very coming, the immediate future here. Regardless of the fact of the oil, once trading is on the go,
yes,
we are going to have a share.
Well, in 2020, we are going to handle almost 90 billion ton of the sea trade. Now we are having 8.4, but it is increasing in yearly basis based on 8% or something, and that's why it is crying for new development in shipbuilding, in new ports, in new system of cargo handling, in new theory of international trade, whereas in order to sort out some problems of the outreach, to reach the product to the market in door-to-door basis. And that's why transportation representing a very big issue here. And that's why the experts are seeking nowadays for new ideas, new eras. And this is exactly what's happening in the container. Nowadays, they are constructing the biggest ship ever in the continent of 23,000 TEU. We're talking about 410 meter length of vessel, almost half a kilometer of vessel.
That really needs discussion, plus of course the announcement of the Prime Minister today that the East Port Said Canal will be opened or inaugurated, a new channel, an important one would be opened on Wednesday. Before we proceed on with our discussion, now, of course, the Suez Canal Global Conference has vital objectives that make it of great significance.
Yes.
Let's watch this report on the objectives of this conference, and we'll come back for discussion.
The Suez Canal Global Conference from 22nd to 24th February augments the role of the Suez Canal Authority in supporting maritime transport and industry. It is an event where both local and international stakeholders and key players meet to exchange viewpoints and thoroughly investigate the available business opportunities, potentials, and relevant challenges. The conference sheds more light on the tremendous effort exerted by the Suez Canal Authority to maintain the waterway development to in tune with the latest developments in international maritime market. The conference objectives and importance are emphasizing the vital role of the Suez Canal in serving water trade and Egyptian economy and striving to make the best out of available opportunities to increase the tonnage passing through the canal in coordination with its client. It is also aiming to further boost communication with canal clients and exchange viewpoints with them. It is introducing the continuous developments of the Suez Canal regarding the waterway and services rendered in addition to the flexible marketing policies adopted by the Suez Canal Authority. It also aims to invite international experts and specialists to discuss the latest accomplishments in shipping industry in addition to presenting current and future projects intended for both Suez Canal and Suez Canal Area Development Projects.
Right, welcome back to our program. Before we proceed on our discussion with our distinguished guests, here I have over the phone Mr. Adham Esheni. He is Ahmed Esheni, and he is an international maritime expert. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening to you. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you very much, sir. And we were speaking about the announcement of Prime Minister today of the inauguration of East Port-Said Canal on Wednesday. And we really want to understand how is this significant even for the Suez Canal navigation route.
You want to start about the Suez Canal First Edition Global Conference? Okay.
Definitely, but this is an important announcement that will be really of great importance to the canal. So we'll speak about that, and then we want to take from you, of course, the objectives, the main objectives of the conference. Please, sir.
Okay, this in brief, last January 17, this Admiral Mahar Mamish announced that is to start the first edition Suez Canal Global Conference for 3 nights, starting from 22 February. First or second day, it will be in one of the large luxury hotels in Cairo. And the third day, it will be the ceremony for opening the approach channel for East Port-Said port.
Yes.
Today, it was the first day for this first edition conference. It was a great and big ceremony. This Prime Minister and more than, I think, 12 or 13 ministers was attended in this global conference. And I think it was 35 or 36 from abroad, the most important people in the maritime sectors.
Yes.
Like chairman, like Maritime International Global Chamber, and the chairmen of the big container ship, and from a lot of countries like UK, like Singapore, like Korea, like China. Today it was all the Egyptian people should be proud.
Definitely we are.
Because Suez Canal is the most important water seaway, that features water seaway in the world. You know, this in 2016, that means it's 148 years for Suez Canal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, very much. Yes, if I may ask you about the main objective of such a global conference, particularly being held at this particular time.
it's really completely different than other conference, because the address of the conference is the challenges and opportunities. The point of view of Suez Canal Authority is what the customer and clients want from Suez Canal. Does anyone know what the facility can Suez Canal give to others? If we go back to last August, when our President Fattah al-Sisi said, the new Suez Canal, it is a gift for the whole world. You know, Suez Canal, they are reducing the cost of operation for the carriers of the world trade global per year, every year, not less than $26 billion. You know how? Did you imagine how much important Suez Canal for a port?
Yes.
It's very important. And now you know this. The economy in the whole world is slowing down. Correct? And we are facing a lot of problems. So we have to look for how to invest our facility, how to increase our revenue, how to create a new opportunity for a lot of investment in Egypt. So we are in a big challenges, and we have a lot of opportunities.
Very much indeed. Dr. Ahmed Eshami, maritime transportation expert, we thank you very much for being with us. Back to you, Dr. Salah, and opportunities. What opportunities does this area open? Before we get back to you, sir, to tell me more about the Port Said Canal.
Well, as you mentioned a minute ago, it's very important for all of us to differentiate between the Suez Canal as just a passage and the development that is related to being around and supporting that passage.
Yes, very much.
So, sorry for the...
It's okay.
So now if we have the idea of trying to serve not only those who are passing through, but to serve, as I mentioned a minute ago, to concentrate on the African nations and try to get, because I have something in mind now, as we all know, that the weight, if we go by the tonnage,
yes,
the tonnage is related actually to some commodities, but with the technology development, a chip like that is worth so much, and then transporting that would not be like the commodities. So African nations being in the developing part, they are not we have to understand that the tonnage would be coming from Africa more than it is coming from Europe and with Europe, right? As we go in
the weight and the measurement of this such kind of conventional cargo will be
so we have to realize this and concentrate on the fact that not only we are going to be helping these nations, I mean the African nations. We are helping ourselves going two ways, like in all transports, if you consider both ways, is not like in one way. So we realize that the African nations can be coming and going with exports and imports.
Definitely, but we're not speaking. Yes, we're coming. We're speaking about what can enter to Africa, but what can go out.
Opportunity. You're talking about
Definitely,
opportunities.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So trade is a main opportunity that is here. As returning back to the Suez Canal as a navigation route, and of course the inauguration of East Port Said Canal that will be opened on Wednesday. Of course, that will reflect on the Suez Canal. But first, we need to understand how it will reflect and why.
Well, if we talk about the technology they made, they were having what's called dredging work far away from the actual or the current passage of the Suez Canal itself. It's not a canal, it's a proceeding channel from to the Mediterranean to the port directly without having any interruption from the convoys. Actually, you have two convoys, the southbound coming from the Mediterranean to the Red Sea, and the northbound coming from the Red Sea to the Mediterranean. And these are far away nowadays. I mean, as from the day after tomorrow, it will be passing very smoothly without having any interruption with the vessel called